The conquests of Alexander the Great did more than reshape the ancient world politically. They catalyzed a profound cultural transformation that reverberated across 3 continents. As Alexander moved through Greece, Persia, Egypt, and India, he left a legacy that far outlived his short life. His campaign led to the fusion of diverse traditions, philosophies, religions, and art forms, creating a new era known as the Hellenistic period. This period saw an unprecedented exchange of knowledge and ideas, fundamentally shaping the evolution of Western and Eastern cultures. Chapter 1: Founding of New Cities. One of Alexander's most lasting cultural contributions was the founding of new cities across his empire, many of them named Alexandria in his honor. These cities were strategically located along trade routes and served as centers of administration, commerce, and cultural exchange. The most famous of these was Alexandria in Egypt, which became the intellectual heart of the Hellenistic world. Alexander's cities attracted settlers from across his empire, creating communities that blended Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and other local customs. These cities became cosmopolitan centers where diverse peoples lived and interacted, exchanging languages, beliefs, and practices. They helped spread Greek language and culture but also allowed for the adoption and incorporation of local traditions, creating a hybrid culture unique to each city. In Alexandria, Egypt, Alexander's vision for a cultural and intellectual center was fully realized. His successors established the Great Library of Alexandria, which housed texts from across the known world, making it a beacon for scholars, philosophers, and scientists. The city's famous museum, or Mausoleum, became a center for research and discovery, with advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine that would influence civilizations for centuries. Chapter 2: The Spread of Greek Language and Ideas. As Alexander's empire expanded, so too did the influence of the Greek language. Greek became the lingua franca of his vast territories, allowing for communication and trade between distant peoples. This spread of the Greek language fostered a new level of connectivity, making it easier for scholars, merchants, and officials to interact across regions. The Greek language also carried with it Greek philosophical and scientific ideas. Philosophers such as Aristotle, who had been Alexander's tutor, imparted ideas about ethics, metaphysics, and natural sciences that became accessible to people far beyond Greece. Greek philosophy encouraged critical thinking and exploration, and as it reached new audiences, it was integrated with local beliefs and intellectual traditions. Greek thought influenced other cultures, leading to developments in areas such as ethics, logic, and political theory. For example, in India, Greek philosophy interacted with Buddhist and Hindu teachings, creating unique syncretic schools of thought. Greek concepts of governance and law also influenced the administration of cities throughout the empire, blending with Persian and local systems to create new forms of governance that respected regional traditions while promoting unity. Chapter 3: Art and Architecture. Alexander's conquests ushered in a new era of art and architecture marked by the synthesis of Greek and Eastern styles. Greek aesthetics, with their emphasis on realism and idealized forms, blended with the ornamental richness and symbolism of Persian and Egyptian art. This synthesis created the unique Hellenistic style, characterized by its detailed, emotive, and dynamic qualities. In sculpture, artists began to focus on portraying realistic human emotions and complex postures, departing from the idealized forms of the classical Greek style. Hellenistic statues depicted everything from the grandeur of gods and kings to the struggles of everyday people, reflecting the diverse cultural influences within the empire. Famous examples include the Dying Gaul, which portrays the anguish of a wounded warrior, and the Laocoon group, capturing the intense agony of Laocoon and his sons as they struggle against sea serpents. Architecturally, Alexander's successors built grand temples and palaces that combined Greek and Eastern elements. For instance, the use of columns and Greek architectural orders blended with Persian-style friezes and grandiose decorative motifs. The result was an architectural style that celebrated both Greek ideals and the grandeur of the Eastern world, exemplified by buildings such as the Great Altar of Pergamon. Chapter 4: Religion and Mythology. Alexander's empire became a melting pot of religious traditions, fostering the exchange and adaptation of gods, myths, and rituals. As Greek gods merged with local deities, new forms of worship and religious syncretism emerged, blending elements of different faiths. In Egypt, for example, the Greek god Zeus was combined with the Egyptian god Ammon to form Zeus Ammon, a deity that symbolized the union of Greek and Egyptian spiritual beliefs. Alexander himself was often associated with Zeus Ammon, cementing his divine status in both Greek and Egyptian traditions. This blending of religions led to the development of Greco-Egyptian cults, such as the cult of Serapis, a deity who combined aspects of both Greek and Egyptian gods. Serapis was worshipped throughout the Hellenistic world, symbolizing the union of Greek and Eastern religious identities and fostering a sense of unity among Alexander's diverse subjects. Similarly, in Persia, the Greek and Persian pantheons influenced each other, with local worshippers incorporating Greek elements into their existing beliefs. The impact of this religious blending extended into the Roman Empire, where mystery religions and cults with Hellenistic origins, such as those of Isis and Mithras, spread throughout the empire, shaping Roman religious practices and beliefs. Chapter 5: Science, Philosophy, and Knowledge Exchange. One of the most significant cultural impacts of Alexander's conquests was the flourishing of science and philosophy in the Hellenistic period. Scholars in Alexander's cities pushed the boundaries of knowledge, making groundbreaking advancements in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and geography. In Alexandria, mathematicians like Euclid and astronomers like Aristarchus and Eratosthenes made discoveries that would lay the foundation for Western science. Euclid's Elements became one of the most influential works in mathematics, while Eratosthenes' calculation of the Earth's circumference was remarkably accurate for its time. Aristarchus even proposed a heliocentric model of the solar system, challenging established beliefs long before Copernicus. Chapter 7: The Influence on Language and Literature. One of the enduring legacies of Alexander's conquests was the influence on language and literature across his empire. Greek became not only the language of administration and governance, but also the language of culture, science, and philosophy, forming a common linguistic thread that connected people from diverse backgrounds. This widespread adoption of Greek, known as Koine Greek, allowed for the transmission of knowledge, religious texts, and stories throughout the Mediterranean, the Middle East, and beyond. In literature, the Hellenistic period saw an outpouring of new genres and styles. Poets, playwrights, and historians adapted traditional Greek forms to reflect the multicultural world in which they lived. Theocritus developed pastoral poetry, depicting rustic life in an idealized fashion, which contrasted sharply with the urban complexities of the Hellenistic cities. Callimachus and Apollonius of Rhodes brought myth and folklore into the world of epic poetry, creating works that explored both Greek ideals and the exotic new cultures that had come into contact through Alexander's conquests. The influence of Greek language and literary forms persisted even after the fall of the Hellenistic kingdoms, impacting later cultures. For instance, the New Testament was written in Koine Greek, allowing it to spread widely across the Eastern Mediterranean and aiding the spread of early Christianity. Greek influence on Jewish scholars in Alexandria led to the creation of the Septuagint, the Greek translation of Hebrew scriptures, which became a central text for early Christians. These translations and texts, influenced by the Hellenistic cultural environment, allowed Greek thought and philosophy to merge with Jewish, Christian, and other religious traditions. Chapter 8: Hellenistic Influence on Religion and Early Christianity. Alexander's conquests created a cultural landscape in which religious ideas could travel and evolve. Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and Indian spiritual traditions mixed, giving rise to new cults, deities, and religious practices. The worship of gods like Serapis, a fusion of the Egyptian Osiris and the Greek Zeus, showed how cultures merged to create deities that appealed across cultural boundaries. Mystery religions, which offered initiates secret knowledge and promises of salvation, gained popularity across the Hellenistic world. These religions, including the cults of Isis and Mithras, combined Greek and Eastern beliefs and practices, appealing to diverse populations by addressing personal salvation and life after death. As these beliefs spread, they laid the groundwork for new religious movements that emphasized personal connection to the divine. The Hellenistic environment also influenced the early development of Christianity. Early Christian writers used Greek language and philosophical concepts to communicate their teachings to a broad audience. Stoic and Platonic philosophies, which were well known throughout the Hellenistic world, provided frameworks that Christian theologians later adapted to explain their beliefs. Paul the Apostle, for example, used Hellenistic language and ideas to spread Christianity throughout the Roman Empire, helping it become a universal religion rather than one tied to a single ethnicity or region. Chapter 9. Impact on Trade and Economic Exchange. Alexander's empire created vast new trade networks that spanned from Greece and Egypt to Persia and India, transforming economic relations across these regions. With Alexander's conquests, once isolated regions were linked by routes that allowed the flow of goods, knowledge, and cultural practices across vast distances. The Silk Road, which would later become a major trade route, saw its beginnings during the Hellenistic period, with Greek and Indian merchants exchanging silk, spices, ivory, gold, and other goods.